What's up, everybody? It's Heat Override, and I'm ready to bring the pain for you and Dr. Roto this week. Yeah, it's football season. It is over, but guess what? It's off season. You got free agency coming up. You have the draft coming up. You have your drafts and those coming up, or maybe you're starting a dynasty league, and with those players that all are regressed, you're probably going to be drafting IDP players, individual defensive players, for all those people out there that sometimes question that. How's everybody doing today? Let's get ready to bring the pain. Oh, yeah. So I'm throwing this one together to kind of do a position versus another position to kind of give all of you the idea of why sometimes at certain points of the draft, drafting an IDP player or a linebacker may be the way to go over a tight end. Now, hear me out. I know it's a crazy thing to say, right? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? But again, if you've been a fan of mine or if you listen to any of my podcasts, especially the IDP podcast, the seasonal IDP podcast, you know that I'm always about that points, that level. If you're in our subs only Discord, you know that I'm always about getting that average points with a linebacker, that 10 points with a linebacker. Maybe sometimes it pays up to take a safety and you get a chance at an interception, maybe a pick six or a fumble recovery or something like that, whereas your linebacker is mostly just tackling all the time. But at the same time, when you're doing that, you want to always remember that this is also your team. This is your team that you're putting your money up for. So you should want the most out of those points, every single point, every single tackle, every single reception. So this is going to be based on a half point reception. So you get a half point per reception. And this is also going to be on a half point for a half tackle. So you get a full point for a tackle. So that will be the scoring that we're doing. And of course, 6 points for a defensive player is 6 points, and 6 points for an offensive player is going to be 6 points as well. We're actually going to be doing tight ends versus linebackers. What? Whoa. Okay. Okay, here we go. Right, hear me out. So we're gonna do. I wanted to do. I was gonna do top 5, so we're gonna do top 6. Right. So we're gonna start off with the number 1 under this scoring under this model that I used. Sam Laporta was number 1 with 202 points at 11.9 per game. Right. I mean, that's outstanding. That definitely. I mean, there's a reason why he was on my third place team, my defending champion team. He was really solid all year for me in that passing offense for Detroit. So why not? Number 2, this is going to surprise you. It was George Kittle, 182.9 with an 11.4 per game. So that's solid. But then, sometimes Kittle be giving up them zeros, man. And that really does hurt. However, he was out there long enough to make enough points. And also, this league, I always make sure that there's a credit for tackles. So if there's an interception and Kittle gets the tackle, that some of that 182 is definitely part of that, so or could be part of that. So number 3 is going to be Travis Kelce, 182.9, practically right there tied with Kittle, a 12.1 per game, again showing why Travis Kelce is a dominant player at his position and why 12.1 points per game is that. Sorry, it's a little dry here, right, for the people who watching that. Number 4 is Evan Ingram, 178 a game, 10.5 a game. So 178 points for the whole season, 10.5 a game. That's not bad. And again, he was huge clutch coming down the end of the year. He was getting so many targets, man, and getting double-digit catches. Like, that was huge for anything going on. Number 5, Hawkinson. Even though he got hurt, he got 176.5 and he was averaging 11.8 a game. That is insane under these points, right? So that's these right here. And then we'll go number 6. It's David Njoku, right? 170.70. And then his average was 10.7. And then after that, tight end just goes, woo, boom, right? So that being said, those are all solid points. That's what you're going to get. That rivals a lot of wide receivers, showing that those 6 tight ends definitely could step in at any point and could produce for your team. However, now you would think that there's no way the linebackers can get near the tight ends at all. But again, this is why this is a position battle, right? So number 1 is Foyesay Oluokun, 184 points. That's 10.8 per game. Number 1 player of fantasy at his position and just overall of defense, IDP under these scoring formats. Again, 2 points for, forced fumble, interceptions, things like that. So that's huge. Here's number two. This is what y'all are going to get, right? This is why sometimes IDP, you go with the names that are always solid for you. And the number two is Bobby Wagner, 177.5, 10.4 per game, right? Number three, TJ Edwards, 171.5, 10.1 per game. Number four, we're going to speed along here so we can get this to the comparison part. Terrel Bernard, 170 per game, 10 per game. Number five, Alex Singleton, 168 overall. And sorry about that, got a little wild. 168 for Alex Singleton for the entire season, 9.9 per game. And the leading tackler of the NFL, Zaire Franklin, 166.5 for a 10.4. Now, why would you draft a linebacker over, say, one of those receivers? Because think about it. Those 6 tight ends may be gone before you go. So if those 6 tight ends are gone and you're looking at, say, Tyler Higbee, Cole Kmet, then it's a no-brainer. You should probably grab the best IDP linebacker at that part of your draft. It only makes sense that when you're going to get over 10.5 and you go down to, say, the other tight ends and they're averaging 8 or 6 for the entire season on a game, you don't want that. You're going to be giving up 4, 5, 6 points a game, and you're giving up one of the best linebackers that could be. You want one of those 6 top linebackers, unless, of course, Bobby Wagner retires, which I don't see is going to happen, but you never know. But it shows that why Oluokun is definitely big. He outscored Kittle and Travis Kelce. Now, I'm not a crazy man would say I would draft Travis Kelce, of course, over Oluokun. Or would you? Because most likely someone's drafting Kelce in the first or second round, which means by the time you go for Oluokun, you're already over Njoku and, say, Hawkinson and in Kittle at that point. And a lot of people sleep on Kittle, but he does go pretty fast. So the point I'm trying to make is that sometimes in a draft, especially like a dynasty or a redraft league, a seasonal league, you're going to need to make these decisions. Do you just max out and get that linebacker you're going to be able to plug in and just hit that? I mean, you're going to have my IDP heats of the week getting your back, right? And you're also going to have my hard hitting cool picks article all season long for any injuries that pop up. But at the same time, when you're drafting, I'm telling you that if you're doing a dynasty draft right now, or you're preparing to do a dynasty draft right now, and then do your rookie draft, then you need to start looking at these players right now, because really we're only almost 2 months away from the NFL draft. And when you start drafting these players, you're going to need to know that if you pick Tyler Higbee now because you're scared that you're not going to get a tight end, that you might be able to wait for another tight end. You might be able to wait for somebody like, hey, I guess Cole Kmet. Or if Cole Kmet and Higbee are gone, maybe that's where Juwan Johnson comes in. And those little steals, those little things that you pull sometimes can make it. But you getting that linebacker that's going to hit like Terrel Bernard, the way he was hitting for Buffalo, and that right there allows you a more comfort. It gives you a better overall season average for your team. So you're putting your team in the best position. And then you just have to draft another linebacker or running another tight end behind that, right? Because you are going to be paying up. You are going to be saying, hey, I'm going to do that. But the minute you do that, everybody else is going to go grab the linebackers. And that's when you're going to be able to go get the tight ends that you need to get, or maybe sneak in maybe a third slot receiver or something for you. You need a backup or handcuff while they're going for the linebackers. Because by the time they get back to it, you could be back to you could go double tight end or whatever at that point. I'm telling you, that's a draft strategy that you're going to need to look at, because if the linebackers in your league are scoring just as much or more than those top tight ends in your league, then it almost makes those linebackers almost as valuable as your tight end. Have a great day, everybody. This is Heat Override from drroto.com. Get over there. Baseball's heating up. Baseball articles all day long. Man, Mike and them at the One and Done show are dropping articles every day. They're going live every day. Jay, Eric, of course, and everybody else. I mean, We got PGA is going nuts right now. You got Alicia doing her thing. Danger's just all over it. He loves golf. He is so trying to learn golf right now that he's got everybody, Coach White and everybody just putting all their minds together, giving you the best content that you can get. So you want to get over to Doc, use code word Doc, you get a percentage off your subscription and get into the Discord, because that's how you're going to win money. And that's how you win money with the bets and everything that come up in there. All right, everybody, have a great one. Get ready for the NFL draft. Get ready for free agency, because, man, things could get wild in the IDP world. But there's one hero, the IDP hero, that'll always have your back, Mr. Heat Override. Oh, yeah. May the tackles be with you. Dig it.